As a reminder, per the Constitution of the United States of America, the people have an indubitable, unalienable, and indefeasible right to reform or change their government whenever it be found adverse or inadequate to the purposes of its institution. And anything I say, represent, express, write, or otherwise share in real life or on this channel is protected in and enshrined in the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America.
Zoom. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, at Home Depot, he got another Tyvek suit. So there were two. We've got Scotch heavy duty 54 yards, two of those, single pack, 738. A 10 by 25 clear plastic sheet, Tyvek with hood boot, heavy duty canopy tarp, 10 by.
In the case against Brian Walsh, investigators presented surveillance footage and a corresponding receipt documenting his purchase of multiple incriminating items at Home Depot. This raises an important procedural question in terms of the Idaho 4 Brian Kohberger case. Did the Moscow Police Department or any other investigative authority conduct a comparable inquiry with the Home Depot in Moscow, Idaho? And crucially, is there any evidence in the publicly available documents, affidavits, discovery, press releases, or warrant returns that such a check ever took place? So far, I have not been able to see or find anything indicating that it did. If one accepts the official narrative at face value, the absence of this step might be explained by the belief that MPD had already identified and apprehended the correct suspect. In that framework, additional cross-checks might have been deemed unnecessary or redundant. However, if one entertains the possibility that the wrong individual was arrested, as many of us do believe, or simply considers whether procedural shortcuts, oversights, or investigative blind spots occurred, then the failure to follow up with the Home Depot becomes more significant. Under such a scenario, not verifying purchases, receipts, or surveillance at the Moscow store could function as a critical missing step, whether through institutional bias, confirmation bias, resource limitations, or more troubling forms of misconduct. The omission would have the effect, intentional or not, intentional in our opinion more than likely, of constraining the investigation and limiting the identification of alternative suspects. In other words, if we assume that investigators did not contact the store, the absence of the action aligns logically with an investigative trajectory already committed to a single narrative. And if there were deeper structural issues like collusion, corruption, or at minimum gross negligence, then the lack of follow-up with Home Depot would fit neatly into a broader pattern of investigative incompleteness. And in my opinion, when MPD went to Walmart to check to see if K-bars were sold there, in my opinion, this was just a dramatization and act to pretend and give the impression that an actual investigation was occurring.